Well, hello there. Oh, there we are. We're here. We're back. So happy holidays, everybody. I hope you had a great Christmas or Hanukkah or New Year's or whatever the fuck you felt like celebrating over the last few weeks. I celebrate capitalist Christmas. Also Graphelneck, which happened to be the same day. Yeah, so whatever. It's all good. As long as you had a good time, everything's great. I hope that um you had many delicious treats, many cool presents. I got to see people. I certainly took a bunch of time to do that myself. So we're back here. It is the new year, and we're here to get back into the swing of things. Today we're gonna play some Vintage Cube. So this ought to be fun. I don't remember if I showed the results of this poll the last time. I think, yeah, because this one was actually from last month. Oh, yeah. But I don't know, but we'll look at it now because I kind of dropped the ball in the polls for a few weeks. But the last one that I had actually ran was asking to see which card people most wanted to see reprinted with a retro frame, and the majority of people picked Ether Vial, which I thought was probably going to be the case. And it was also looking like it was possible that we might have gotten Vial, but they sadly did not give us a Vial. So yeah, it could have they could have had it in Brothers War and they didn't, unfortunately. So yeah, Vial's still going to be the top of the list for people for a while. But I was actually surprised that there were half the votes were split in the other cards here. Merfolk Trickster still coming up with a third of them. That was more than I expected, really. So I guess this makes sense though, because Trickster would look really nice in the retro frame alongside all the lords, and this is a very core card. But I really thought Valdalian Hexcatcher would probably get more than this, because it only has like the borderless frame and or what it's extended art. It's not the same thing. It's like a regular frame and extended art. So Spreading Seas, I also thought might get a little bit more than that, but no, I mean this is still a little bit closer than I thought. 31 to 52 is like not like a complete blowout, so yeah, that was a thing. So I actually do have a new poll question, which I'm gonna put up on the page. Probably, uh, what was the question? I came up with a really cool one that was right before this. I'm gonna have to think about it what it was, but yeah, I'll put it up after the stream, and then there'll be a new poll on the community tab, and we'll look at it next week, hopefully. So we will get back to doing those regularly now, because like the schedule got all screwed up because I was out doing holiday stuff like pretty much the entire time. It's crazy, and the next few weeks are gonna be crazy too. But so this is the life I signed up for, doing what I do for a living. So it's getting to be that time of year, and it's only going to get more stressful and not less for the next month or so. But we're gonna definitely enjoy this vintage cube while it's here. Yeah, the vintage cube goes until January 25th. So if you haven't played it yet at all, I definitely recommend that you get some games in with it. It's really fun. So that's what we're doing today. I played a little bit of it already. I tried some reanimator decks that didn't work out too well, and I tried one Kiki combo deck. They're like a kind of like Splinter Twin. I just had like Restoration Angel and like Pestermite Deceiver Exarch alongside Kiki Jiki, and like that deck went 3-0, which I thought was pretty awesome. So yeah, I haven't, or I did not get to open up a lot of power in the vintage event, but sometimes that's just how it be. So there we go. Yeah, there's a lot of people that just have like one trophy. But yeah, what? Where am I on this list here? Is it gonna show me? Yeah, here we go. Lord Magicus trophies one. We got one. See, our deck was actually really sick. And the last game that I played with the Kiki deck, I comboed them on turn 4. The mono white and mono red decks in this format are like really, really tough, especially when they have Moxes to like fuel their aggro plan. So can get really brutal really quickly. All right. let's do this. If depending on how quick this goes, we might do 2 leagues of this. So, well, first things first, we don't see any power here, so there's no like auto picks. But we do have. It looks like we do have some choices to make. So, one of the cool things about the vintage cube is you can like force archetypes if you know that you want to try to play something specific. Necromancy. If you're gonna play Reanimator, this is definitely a card that you want for it. Though, if there's you can play like you can draft Storm. There's like artifact combos that you can play. You can just play like regular mid-range decks, which are still very powerful. Mono white and mono red are also like really strong. Uh, yeah, it's hard to like. It's hard to build a deck that's like unplayable by any means. So it's just a matter of what you think you're gonna do. Green Sun Zenith is not bad at all. I think I might take this card because yeah, like given what we're seeing, like we might just play a fair list. Mox Diamond is not terrible either, though. Elfish Mystic is definitely the sort of card we want with Green Sun Zenith. I feel like we're supposed to take Mox Diamond with this sort of deck, though. Yeah, this is another thing that's really close. I mean, they both sort of ramp you on turn 1. I don't know, maybe Mystic is actually better if we're going to play Green Sun Zenith. And, like, usually what you'll do, if you're playing mono green, you'll have, like, some ridiculous top end threat. If you want to splash a color, like, something like Elspeth here is actually really good for the deck. Alright. I'm going to take the Mystic. Because they both ramp, but this one actually synergizes with this more. Alright, oh, Mana Crypt is an easy take here. I don't know how we got that. Yeah, because that's just gonna fuel this. Maybe we take Birthing Pod. There's some non-zero chance that like Show and Tell is here too. Ooh. Okay, well, that's interesting. Because I was gonna say there's a few different options here. Like the creatures to combo with Birthing Pod also exist, and like, but Show and Tell by itself is also just ridiculously powerful, especially if we're gonna jam a bunch of like fatties that we're gonna ramp into. I mean, maybe we'll end up playing blue with this too. Who knows? I feel like either of those would be fine choices. I'm gonna take the Show and Tell. We might there's a world in which I might want to actually play this card. Like this Woodfall Primus is definitely one of the cards where we probably want it with like this side of the deck, but like if we do want to play Show and Tell, like Woodfall would definitely go in with it too. Same thing with Wormcoil Engine, like it's not terrible at all. This destroys a non-creature permanent and it has persist, so you can blow up their lands. This is just it's a little bit better if you're like on the artifact plan, but I think we want this. Ignoble also would be fine, but I feel like I want to have one of these for my deck, so yeah, and endurance is probably the way to go here. Like I think we're fairly like, you know, we're pretty solid in this green color right now. Endurance is going to be good against reanimators and stuff. Ooh, Splendor Twins here. Grest is not bad because we can Green Sun for it. Very strong consideration. This isn't terrible either, but I don't know if we want to go into red. I think we probably just take Grest and splash black for it. Fuck. All right, we have Show and Tell and we have Eureka to go with it, and it's in our colors. This definitely looks like this could be a thing that we want to jam here. And Magus of the Order, this is the fucking natural order one. They're all really good, but I think we're taking this. Like, we might have like this combo element to our deck now. This is not a terrible card. Like, it's, you know, it's a green land that fits in our deck and has an ability that's relevant. So there are a couple legendary things we might pick up, like Nisa, the creature one, is probably the best one with this. Yeah, I think that's what we want. I don't know what I like. if we take the Archon, like there's probably no chance we're ever casting it, but it does go well with this plan if we're gonna do that. The Signet is also just really strong on its own. I think I'm gonna take that because that there's a higher chance that's gonna end up in our deck. Um, Same kind of argument applies to like both Armageddon and Crucible. Because if we have a lot of like the mana that's not lands, then this actually gets a lot better. I'll take Crucible for now. If we draw like fetch, or if we draft fetches, then that might be useful for that. I doubt we're playing any of these cards, but sure. Yeah, kind of the same deal here. We'll just take whatever at this point. It's not really important. All right. We got a pretty strong shell here, and it looks like, we might be pretty good on this combo, so. Like, this is a solid, like, plan to win the game if we can just drop really dumb shit in turn one. Alright, what do we got here? Eladrimir's Call would definitely fit this. Coma is probably the one here, though Nisa is also really good because we do have this to go with her, but if we're going to play Show and Tell and Eureka, Coma is a card that, one, we can actually, like, it's great with this, but it's also, like, a card we can reasonably cast for mana, so I think that's what we got to take here. And I'm really hoping that maybe this comes back around, or, like, even the Signet would be great to pick here. Like, a Call's not bad either, but if we're doing this, then this is probably what we want here. So Birds of Paradise is probably fine. Like Acidic Slime is fine. We have Triomes that like can help fix our mana a little bit. This is a Forest Island map, so like this would help us cast our stuff a little better. But so does Birds of Paradise, and like it helps us ramp out this nonsense. So probably we want birds here. Fuck, Emrakul is really good. So Emrakul is actually amazing to go off of this from both like Eureka and Show and Tell. Like I feel like that's probably where we're going with this. Second like thoughts here. Probably like the Hermit's fine. Maybe if this comes back, we'll take this. This is also pretty fine. But if we're gonna go this route and just do dumb combo shit, this is really good for it. Okay, so then Pelucranos is not a bad card either. If we have lots of mana here, then this card's gonna be really fine, and it's a nice beater for the deck. So this is where I'm looking at right now. Lotus Petal, like I don't know how hard we want to go in on this ramp plan. I like these because they're recurring, but I don't know that we need, like, this is more of a card if you're all in like Storm or Reanimator, so pretty sure we want this. Garruk is not bad. Sphinx is like okay. We can't really cast it, but he's a removal for like little creatures. He also makes wolves, and if you can flip him, he's actually really strong too. Like a really strong, fair kind of plan. I think that's what we want. The other choice would be like Blood Chief's Thirst, but I guess this is sort of removals the same way that like Grist is, so yeah, I don't have a lot of strong opinions here. Like Battlesphere is the most castable of them, but Iona is the one that's probably the most likely to like destroy the opponent with these cards. I think I can take this. I might I keep it in the sideboard and just bring it in if we know we have to be on this plan for something. Uh, fuck. Sneak attack is like I don't know. That might be too many colors to really make this work that well, though. I don't know. Like this is difficult because there's maybe fatal push. I mean, this like I don't want to. I don't know that I want to play a third color for this, but we're already green blue, and this would force us to red. I think we want black as our other color, so maybe we want this. I can put it with here because these are like sort of removal. Grief is not bad. Ren and fuck. See, like Ren and 6. If we have fetches in this, actually, is becomes like super really powerful. Maybe grief. If black is going to be our secondary color, then that goes well with it. Well, we got a Ladrumy's callback, so that might. And we also have the Golgari Signet, so that's pretty good too. I think both of them are good, but I think I'm going to take this Signet. The Slime is a pretty easy choice. That card is fantastic in this sort of deck. We can cast this card, so it's probably the one we're taking. I don't know if we're going to play it, but maybe that's maybe like I don't Boros Signet doesn't seem great. The Legionnaire is also like okay. I guess I'll take that there, and it's probably not getting played. This card maybe we want this actually. I doubt we're using it, but sure. It's possible we might play this. Fuck, are we like not getting any? We're not gonna have power, but that's okay. So Progenitus is definitely one of the cards we would want to consider here because it does kill them in 2 turns. So does Blightsteel Colossus. The only advantage Progenitus might have is we can Green Sun into it. However, this will just kill the opponent if it, connects 1 time. This has to connect twice. So, I mean, Sylvan Library is also really powerful, but I have a feeling we're not going to see that come around. I think that Blightsteel is the way to go with this. Questing Beast is probably fine. I don't think we have any lands for this to actually fetch yet, but that might be okay. Like, this card is also sort of fine, but Questing Beast is the one that's most reasonably castable if we're going to make like a real deck that goes around this stupid combo shell. Yeah, I think I'm going to take that. Because we will just like win a lot of games just by that. Oh, Tinker. Okay, so like we have the Blightsteel Colossus, we have a bunch of like artifacts that we can tinker. So like this might be worth it for this. There's the Kiki Jiki, but we didn't decide to go for like the pod route here. I think honestly I think we take this because this gives us wins with Blightsteel. All right, cool. Gaia's Cradle is actually probably fine. I think we want that. So our deck is intending to play a lot of creatures. Same thing like Craterhoof Behemoth. That's also pretty good. Like Sundering Titan is great. At some point, like we don't need to have like a million of these kind of cards, but because we're only intending to cheat like certain things in play. The Everflowing Chalice is also possible because we might want that to have more stuff to tinker, but there are. I think we can worry about that later. I think I am looking at probably either Craterhoof or Sundering Titan. This Leovold is also not bad either, but I don't want to play stuff that requires all 3 colors. asking a lot, I think. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna take this. All right. Yeah, we're not. I don't think I'm playing white here, so we don't. I don't think we're taking Stoneforge. We do have one sword that we could find with it. This basically just draws you an extra card each turn. It's not terrible. Fiend Artisan's not bad because it lets you tutor the deck for stuff, but it gets bigger when things are in the graveyard. I think we probably take that because it's another thing to dump a bunch of mana into. Oh god, Mishra's Workshop is still here. That's shocking. Like, this card is ridiculously powerful in the right deck, but I guess nobody's on it. And we don't have enough artifacts really to, like, our deck is not built around this. Like, we probably would have wanted to take more stuff if, yeah, we knew that this was going to happen, so. Kitchen Finks is probably the way to go in this pack. Or also Survival of the Fittest, actually. That might be better. Because that, again, like, works with this nonsense. Okay. It's fine. Well, now that we know we have Tinker, we might actually want this Signet. Having more artifacts actually makes it better. Progenitus, I think we're taking that. I don't think that any of these things really matter that much. Maybe the Snuff Out. This destroys an artifact or enchantment. This destroys a creature. Hangerback Walker is probably great. It is both an artifact and yeah, something we can sacrifice and also something we can dump a bajillion mana into. We're probably not gonna play any of these cards. Guess I'll take this Razorverge Thicket. I doubt that we're gonna play it, but we'll take it. Same thing with like Omnath. You know, I think we're taking Stoneforge, but it's probably not getting played. All right, cool. I think we built a pretty interesting deck. See how this goes. So we're sort of playing like a combo deck, but instead of like reanimating stuff, we're cheating stuff into play through like Show and Tell and Eureka. And we also have the option to try to tinker into Blightsteel. So our normal plan here is to just play like a bunch of, you know, green creatures and just try to run over the opponent that way. Which I think is totally okay. Like a lot of these cards are cards that, you know, are fine on their own anyway, so. Alright, let's get rid of all the stuff that we know is not going to be in this deck. Probably not that. Honestly, there's a good chance I don't want Grief here, so. Grist can actually come into play because of like, yeah, that's a creature, so we can cheat that into play fairly easily. Okay, and then the rest of these are just giant things. So these go into two piles basically. Piles of stuff that we can reasonably cast. Like, these are cards that we could probably cast, and then the rest are things that we're not going to cast. So Survival of the Fittest does let us actually attempt to you know, go get or tutor up cards, you know, to put into play with our Eureka or Show and Tell. So okay, so then yeah. All right, let's organize these a little bit. So these are like kind of our value creatures. Grist, I guess, is actually one of them too. These are our combo things. Oh, no, not that. And where's Green Sun Zenith? I didn't take it out, did I? Why do I not see it? Am I like hallucinating or something? Where the hell is my Green Sun Zenith? We definitely drafted that card. I'm sure that we did. Why can I not find it? Birds of Paradise, yeah, Fatal Push. It's fine. Oh, okay, they're all the way over here. That's why. It's weird. Okay, we had to like scroll over to find them. It's like I'm panicking. It's like, no, we definitely want that card in our deck. Yeah, okay. Um, okay. All right, yeah, and then Progenitus and Hangerback Walker. This is, I mean, I guess it's sort of like a value creature. I don't know. It's an artifact, so it's important for that reason. Okay, is there what else is over here? Oh yeah, Blightsteel, which is important in Emrakul. Okay, which I think we do want. Like, yeah. So we're at 29 cards, which means we have 2 lands. So we'd have to add 11. So we still need to cut a few more things. Um, Progenitus is a card that will win the game by itself. We need to keep Blightsteel, and I think we need to keep Emrakul. Theoretically, like, these are castable cards if we just have enough mana. It could happen. So, all right, that's sort of fine. The prototype, it's sort of like a Snapcaster Mage. It would let us flash this stuff back, but I feel like we don't want that, and I think that we're gonna sideboard this Iona. Okay. So we're getting a lot closer here with this. So we have 14 creatures. This gives us like 6 really big things to cheat into play here. Hmm. This can cast Show and Tell from the graveyard, but it cannot cast. It can't cast the Eureka. Okay. We still need to cut like a few more cards. So that we all right, 14 creatures is not as many as I had hoped for. It's still probably okay. Like, this is the pile of stuff that we're like reasonably casting here. So I'm thinking that maybe we don't have quite enough stuff for Survival of the Fittest to throw away. It makes me question Gaia's Cradle a little bit too. So let's see, like, maybe we want like a regular land instead of this. I think 6 things here is probably enough for our combo. Yeah, I mean, this should be okay. We have lots of good ways to make use of the mana. We do have legendary creatures, right? So Questing Beast and Pelucranos are both legendary for this. So this actually ends up being pretty good. Grist is not a creature in play, so it won't actually work with this, but those two are. So, and I mean, I guess technically, like, if we had this in play, it would work. But I think if we had Coma in play or Progenitus, we're probably winning anyway. But no, we do have, like, some stuff. The Acidic Slime is good. It's a good tutor target, and also, like, it's great at blowing our opponent's shit up. So I think that's perfectly fine. Yeah, the endurance is still, like, I'm fine with keeping endurance here. So where are we at here? Fifth. So we're at 16 lands. 16 lands plus, like, all of our ramp is probably fine, actually. Okay, so we are not going to be playing any planes. Let's get rid of that. But I do want to make sure I have, at least a few islands for this. We're not going to be playing any mountains. So we can add another island. Maybe I'll keep... I have lots of double green. I have two black sources to cast the Grist. And two swamps. Like, that's probably fine. Oh, yeah, and Birds of Paradise. That should be okay. Black is kind of like a... We're not really anticipating on needing that many black sources. But all of this... we have two signets that make green, which is nice. Yeah, the Elfish Mystic and the birds can both make our green. So hitting double green should not be that hard. But hitting the blue mana is a little bit more important, I think, because Grist a lot of times is going to get tutored into play, or even just, like, put into play with, like, Show and Tell or something. Well, maybe not Show. Maybe more likely Eureka will get put into play with, but might keep one swamp and just play, like, another forest or another island. I don't really need that many. Yeah, like, it gives me 4 ways to make black mana to hard cast Grist if I absolutely need to. And worst case, it's a card I can pitch for an endurance if that's necessary. But yeah, I can still come into play with, like, Eureka even without black mana, so I'm not super concerned by this. So none of my signets, however, make blue. So if this is part of my plan, I might want to make one more of these. So they have 9. So this is also effectively a forest for our concern. So that's 10 green lands plus 2 signets. So that's 12 green sources. That should be enough. That's literally like a quarter of our deck that makes green. So I think we're doing this. And including the one swamp is only really important if, something like Field of Ruin comes up, or, like, Path to Exile. Because then if they like path, say, like, Birds of Paradise, we can always find the swamp with it for later for the Grist. So that's why I would consider playing 1. 1 is, significantly better than 0, but 2 is not significantly better than 1, I think. So I think that this is probably fine. We got us I think this is a reasonable deck. Like, I'm totally willing to just play, like, Mana Crypts and Signet on turn 1. We play, like, we can do stuff like turn 1, Mana Crypt, tap it, play Signet, play a land, tap the land and the Signet to play another Signet, and have, like, what, 3, 4, 6. We can have, like, 8 mana on turn 2, which would be just ridiculous. Alright, I think I'm willing to do this. This will be fine. We'll give this a try. And then, depending on how long it takes us to get through 3 matches, we might do a second league, so... I feel like this ended up pretty good, though. This has a lot of really cutesy stuff in it that should be fun to do. There we go. Okay. Alright, now we have to see what BS we're up against. So we don't have any power, but Mana Crypt is sort of like power. It's close. It's like Soul Ring, where it's really close to being power, but not quite. That 3 damage in limited matters a lot more than it does in Commander, so there is that to be concerned with. Okay. We don't have any blue mana for this, but we could just like slam Garruk Relentless in turn 2. And if we draw the blue mana, we have Coma to put into play, so that's probably worth keeping. Okay, we're up against a fair deck, so... Okay, now this changes a lot. Like, we can just show and tell right now. Oh, that is so tempting. Because they're playing white, right? So with Mother of Runes, this is almost certainly a fair deck, and like... Unless they... If they have, like, Path to Exile, this will be really bad. Um... But I don't know. It's hard to say how this is going to turn out if we do this. Uh, I could just do it on turn 2 and just wait to see what happens too. Because I don't necessarily want to take a bajillion damage off Mana Crypt if I don't have to. They only have 5 cards here, so if that it means if they don't have Path like right now, then this just like destroys them. Okay, well, you know what? We came here to have fun. Sure. We're gambling a little bit, so we need them not to have like a path. I don't feel like trying to sacrifice anything to turn off their land here. Okay, that's fine. Fuck! Of course. Alright, Uh, naturally they have it. I needed them not to have it in like turn 1, but sadly they did, so. We have an island, we have forest, we may as well get the swamp in case we draw Grist. The mono white deck is just like brutal. They have tons of removal and tons of like very aggressive threats, so it is like very dangerous to go for this against them, but I think if we were going to try, the earlier we do it, the better. But no, mono white is not a joke in this format at all, by any means. Sure, Goblin Guide. Well, the only good news is Goblin Guide is not attacking through the Serpent. Oh, God. We win the flip, yay. But it's going to cost 2 more to cast it, so we can't cast Garruk this turn, but we can cast him next turn, so we just hold back the Serpent token to just block. Well, they're only on 2 cards, so hopefully it's not, like, too devastating. Whereas we're also at a point where, like, we could just, like, top deck, I don't know, like, Crater Hoof Behemoth at some point, and, like, we're not far off. We're at 5, 6, 7 mana, so, like, it depends upon, if they have more flying creatures and how many times we lose this Mana Crypt flip. But also, this Garruk might be able to just, start just making a ton of wolf tokens to chump block. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, well. Yeah, they're just gonna blow up the mana crypt. So I guess I mean it's kind of sucks because it puts Garrick one turn further out, but at the same time it means we're not taking damage from it. So okay, they have one card left, so they can't attack with the. Sorry, so they can't use the Mother of Runes like because and if they like I guess they probably could have that turn, but they don't know if we have like removal in hand, so they want to be careful. But they also like they have to be careful. They can't just like attack and give this like protection from green or something. Fuck, that's bad. Garrow can very easily block stuff. He just makes wolf tokens. Well, the problem though is like, yeah, he only has 3 loyalty. So, and if he tries to kill this thing, then the Mother of Runes is just going to give it protection from green. So the best we can do with him is to just make like a wolf token. Uh, this still might be worth like doing anyway. If I target, say, Mother of Runes, he'll take 1 damage. So he transforms. Because if I don't do this, then he is just gonna like, yeah, okay. Let's target his ability. Yeah, I guess it. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna matter. Oops. All right, yeah. So they just give it protection. That's I figured. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're supposed to wait a turn and like have birds, but I think this is a problem because they have Sword of Fire and Ice. They're just gonna throw in this thing, and then we're in. Yeah, I think we're basically just dead to this. Them having Mother of Runes and Path to Exile in their opening hand was just too much. Because I think anything less than that we probably could actually beat. Oh, they're going after my face. That's not good. But the combination of those two things, like in their opening hand, is just too much. Because even if they like had to wait to like a full turn to get to path this, then we'd have more serpents. Yep. All right. What if we draw like I guess that does technically keep us alive because it can blow up the sword. I don't know. I guess we're supposed to just make wolf tokens, but we have to get rid of the sword of fire and ice. Um, I guess I can attack with this. Like they can't profitably block it, right? We actually have to block everything though. That's a problem. So I guess we're making wolf tokens now. I don't know. I guess I should have done this last time because I figured they would use the Mother of Runes, but so we could have had an extra wolf. I did not read his ability correctly when I did this. The fact that it, oh god, they have Stoneforge. Like, this is just actual legacy death and taxes. Fuck. All right. They have Jite. That's not gonna help me. Yeah. I didn't. So like because his ability has like a target. Yeah. It's not just choose a creature. The target matters. They are attacking me, which means I think I do want to block this thing, so I don't die to like random nonsense, like if they have lightning bolt. Because at this point, I totally expect that they have lightning bolt or maybe like burst lightning or something like that. I guess I could target my own creature, couldn't I? Yeah. Um. Okay. Do I get to? I think I get to use the backside right away. So what can I do for 7? Is there anything? Because I feel like this is the do or die turn. Maybe this is like the way to do this. I'm going to kill off my Elfish Mystic and try to flip Garruk. Let's see if they're holding removal. They are not. No, he's transformed, but I don't know how the... I don't think it's going to matter, because, like, yeah, they can just attack him. Alright, yeah, they were not winning this. I wasn't sure if he worked, like, the way that, the other walkers did. Now, he's just transform. He's not exile and transform, so that matters. Okay, what do we do against this deck? Probably, like, not a whole lot. There's not really much we can do to change this. We just have to run this back. This is going to be a very hard match. Our best plan here is not casting Show and Tell. It's probably just casting a bunch of fair spells, because I don't think, unless we draw something spectacular, Show and Tell is not going to be the way to go. Or maybe turn 3 Questing Beast will just be enough to draw out removal. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I still want to play the Signet here. I want to play this Questing Beast next turn, so it's probably the way to win this game. They're going to make a 1/1 human, which is fine. And we just have to hope they don't have, like, Path to Exile. So I think that they're going to boast here, so... They don't need... I think they can wait until their second main phase to do this, so they don't have to do it, like, right then. Sure. And they can't block it, so... And attacking into it is bad. So if they have a path, they have to use it on this thing. And then I'll probably Green Sun for Pelucranos. That seems like the way to go with this. So we will have X... Yeah, we'll have X equals 4. Smuggler's Copter, that's fine. Yeah, they can't attack here, so... Well, this is fine. So next turn, maybe we will play Hangerback Walker. I don't think they're blocking with this Copter, so... Yeah, they're just going to take it for sure. Yep. And Pelucranos definitely seems like the way to go here, so. Because that's also another great use of our mana to just, like, fight a bunch of their creatures. And I don't think they have Path. They definitely would have used it on this Questing Beast if they had it, so. This game I feel a lot better about than last game. Okay, they have to be, like, desperate now. They're trying to loot away stuff, because they missed a land drop, right? So they're probably looting to try to find a third land. Maybe they have, like, a removal spell for 3 that they want to use. They did not find the land. Okay, excellent. Look, the fair plan is how we won this game. So, there we go. Look, they didn't have the Path and Mother of Runes on turn 1. That was very much helpful to us. So, all right. We have the ability to win this game still. Like, we're not like dead. We have a decent like fair plan, but sometimes we're going to have a plan like that involves like this nonsense. They kept 7 cards. I don't know how much I believe in this hand here. I think I want to mulligan this and this. This actually has to be better, right? Because we have Tinker and the Blightsteel, and we can even sacrifice the Hangerback Walker. This, like, just feels like it must be better. Green Sun is also, like, all of these cards are very strong here. I don't technically need this Hangerback Walker, but I probably want it. It's going to be really bad if they can path it, though. Did I just get rid of a land? I think I do. Because Mana Crypt has to be important for this, right? I mean, this could be the card I sacrifice, but probably I want to sacrifice Hangerback. I'm trying to think, like... the other possibility is, like, keeping Green Sun here so that I can, just Green Sun into, like, a creature and then use the Mana Crypt with this thing and force them to have 2 things. This might be more likely to draw out removal from them. Alright, we're doing it like this. Sure, Figure of Destiny. Because if they have Path, they'll probably use it on this thing. Okay. Then this is probably fine here. Okay, if they're just going for Jite, then maybe we're in good shape here. Yeah, it's not a good attack for them, so... We won the flip. Excellent. So we have 3, 4, 5 mana here. So I can activate this and get 2 Thopter tokens and then tinker away. I guess I could just tinker away. Yeah, I just tinker the Hangerback, get the 2 Thopters, and then hope that that's fine. And if it's not, then we'll just Green Sun next turn. So... Right. So we need 3 for this. How do I want to pay for this mana here? So that's for that, and then this just needs... Sacrifice this. Okay. Good luck, opponent. Do you have your Path to Exile? Because if you don't, you are in a lot of trouble. Because this infect damage is going to be a lot. And then even if they do, I can just like Grain Sun for Questing Beast or something. Still have an incredibly like, or if we draw a land, I can even Grain Sun for Acidic Slime and blow up the stupid Jite. That's not bad either. Hallucrinos is also fine. Yep, make it a 2/2. No attack? Okay. I guess they just want to... Oh, they're equipping it? Okay. Their plan is to just rely on this thing keeping them alive through Infect, so... Alright, we take 3 damage. Oh, there's Emrakul. Okay. I don't think I have anything that can actually kill this, right? I have Grist, right? That'll work. Okay. Yeah. All right. We got there because Grist just blows up Figure of Destiny. We sacrifice the Thopter token and then just kill them with Blightsteel. There we go. So we won games 2 and 3. One game was a fair game and one game was a bullshit game where Tinker got us there. So look at this, the power of Vintage Cube. Like, okay, well, it took them an incredibly good hand to defeat us. I feel like I'm supposed to keep this. We're on the draw. I think I keep it. Because if I just like show and tell Progenitus, that's probably enough to win the game. Just hope they don't have like days or something. No days. Okay. Well, they could have a counter spell. Young Pyromancer. All right, cool. This probably means we win. Um, I choose Progenitus. They chose a land. Okay, good luck, opponent. You have 2 turns. We are going to kill them in turn 4. It's not impossible for them to win here. They could have, like, the Kiki Cheeky combo. If they just flash in, like, Deceiver Exarch. And then just top deck, like, Kiki Cheeky. It definitely could kill us. Like, I've won a game like that before, so... I don't have 4 mana for this, so I may as well play this. No, they... Okay, it looks like we're going to win here. They had nothing for that turn, so I can't imagine that we're in that deep of shit. They're going to ponder, and they choose to shuffle and pray. That, yeah, they have nothing for Progenitus. Excellent. Look at that. We fucking destroyed them with show and tell. See, this is what I like, when we have a deck that can do complete bullshit, but also, like, play a really good solid game. That's how I ended up 3-0ing with the other deck, because it was just like playing regular old fucking Splinter Twin, where it's like, okay, we have a cool flying tempo plan, but then there's also a combo backup. And this is like the green-blue version of that, where, you know, we're just throwing giant things in play, sometimes for free, but also sometimes, like, just trying to get there with like Questing Beast and whatnot. I don't think that I want to change anything. I suspect they'll probably have a bunch of counter spells, but that's fine. And I don't really want to bring in Iona because it's like an uncastable card, and to be honest, if we're putting something into play, it's probably enough already. Um, it's not awful, but like it's not really good either. Like we're not doing a whole lot with this hand. I think we can do better. This is probably better. If we draw a creature, then like the show and tell becomes really powerful, but I can't afford to mulligan again. Okay. Well, if we show and tell, Blightsteel might be enough, so. But we need an island for that, so. Okay. Okay, well, Grist is also pretty good, too. Garruk can make wolves to feed Grist. This reads to me like they probably have a counterspell, but if they do, so be it. They have Remand? Okay, I mean, that's pretty good. They're playing like a fair deck. I wouldn't be surprised if they're playing like Pestermite and Kiki in their deck. Well, the way they were playing last game made it look like they might have it, but sometimes you just play like fair decks like that and it's fine. Or this could still be like Storm or something where they're just like young Pyromancer fits really nicely in that deck and they just didn't have enough to like win. So it's definitely possible. So they might be debating like, all right, do they tap out now or do you just and put the shields down in case we draw the island or what? So I think that we're jamming Garruk here and then just having it fight young Pyromancer. Actually, I don't know. It's either that or Grist. Like it's pretty close between the two. For Phyrexian Metamorph. Okay, so they're gonna copy young Peasy. Neat. Oh God. Okay. Well, we're definitely gonna play. All right, so we have choices here. We can actually go for the show and tell nonsense and hope that this is fine here while they're tapped out. They could have bounce spells for Blightsteel. That is also a thing. So, but this does force them to like. It makes their attacks awful. It forces them to have a bounce spell or they die, and like or yeah, they have to like actually chump block it with like two things. So I don't know. It's probably correct to do this. It depends on what the other card in their hand is right now. All right. We didn't come here to screw around. We came here to go for the win. All right. This doesn't instantly kill them, but it does put a lot of pressure on them because they have to throw things in front of this to soak up the trample damage. And I could just play Garruk to just like blow up, say like this Mole Drifter or one of these things. Time Walk, okay, sure. That's pretty good. That buys them some time. But they can't take two attacks from this probably, so like they have to dig for an answer to this thing. I'm gonna definitely. They might have something that returns artifacts from the graveyard, so I think I want the actual one to die. Like their plan is just go wide here, so they have Ponder, so they're gonna get one more token back. So they're gonna need to keep two of these to just throw in front of this thing, at least. But we can also just kill one thing with Garruk. So that is also an option. So like they can attack me and deal 5 more damage, but yeah, I can block here. That's assuming they attack with all of these. And if they only have 2 tokens and I play Garruk and blow one of these up, they actually just die. So they're digging for something. Like we're putting the pressure on them immensely to actually find something. And I don't think they did. They swung and missed with a Narset this turn, so we'll see. They're gonna throw the tokens in front. This is smart. Yeah, block a token, I guess. Okay, is it Signet? That's sure, that's fine. So I think that we just play Garruk, and if Garruk resolves, we probably win. Force of Will, okay. If I attack now, I think I am just dead here, right? Yeah, they had the force. They block with 2 tokens and they have exactly 6 to attack me back, so they had it this time. Having the second Pyromancer was like good enough for them, just barely. It's hard to say because they might have been sitting on force plus like another. Well, they didn't cast the Treasure Cruise, which leads me to believe that maybe they had another spell too. Or wait, no, they didn't have that many things in the graveyard, so I don't know. Maybe they couldn't cast it, but it's possible they could have been sitting on like another spell that they could have cast like that might have helped them. This is not keepable. I think this is totally fine. We play Birdie, and then turn 2, we might just like play Acidic Slime. Maybe in turn 3 we play Coma here. So we're gonna, yeah, I guess if we draw a land, we can try to play Coma. And we can also just try to nuke their lands in turn 2. I don't think that they're gonna like Spell Pierce me. I don't want to take the 3 damage. They could. I guess I don't know. It's a risk. But I have the mana to pay for it, so it's not clear that it's a good idea to do it anyway. This actually shows that like I might be able to play Coma next turn if I just play this Signet right now. They can't daze the Signet. All right, so I think okay, how do I do this? Play the Crypt since they can't spell pierce this thing. Okay. So I have the mana here. I could just Acidic Slime their island, and like that also is just devastating. This is not a spell pierceable thing. They have days, okay. No, okay. So they did have days, okay. So maybe if we played the Signet, then doing this next turn would have been fine, but it also means they didn't do anything this turn. If we draw a land, we can just do this anyway. Let's take heads. We lose the flip. I guess we play the Signet. Yeah, they have nothing for that, so I guess we can just Green Sun Zenith here for X equals 3. And I guess we just get Grist. Okay, pass. Like, I doubt that they're beating this. Like, because next turn, we have the mana to just play Coma. And, like, yeah, oh, the god, they don't have another land, so They're just dead. Like, yeah, they win. We win the match. They are mana screwed, and we're about to just dump an uncounterable snake in them. So like, not even Force of Will is gonna save them here. But so this deck looks pretty fucking sick. This is pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. Uh-oh. Got a message. Oh, alright, that's fine. No worries here. So we've already made our money back in this deck, but I'm enjoying this a lot. One more, and then we get another trophy. Alright. I would love to be in the play. I don't think I can keep this. I can't actually cast anything. Like, two of these cards are basically mulligan cards anyway. This is only slightly better, but not really. God. I don't like this at all. We're really gambling here. Like, I need to draw a land, and the best thing I can do is like blow up one of their lands and hope they don't have anything good to put into play. So, otherwise, I just have to play this Hangerback Walker. Oh God! All right, we're playing. We're okay. So if they're playing Gataxian Probe, maybe this is Storm. I guess it could be a Reanimator. I don't know. This feels like a combo card more than it's like a fair card. So they're not shocking themselves, so that's a good sign. Okay. Well, maybe this acidic slime will just help us here. So, all right, let's try. I have to do something and just pray that this is enough. Like, they might only have like a signet or a land to put into play. So if we end up blowing up the steam vents, it's not. Yeah, okay, this is fine. So we just blow that up. Sure. See, look, that ended up pretty well for us. So now we have a slime, and we took them off of their red mana here. So, well, I guess we tried. Looting. So this looks like this might be the storm deck. But if it is, like, we also need to pressure them, and having power in play matters. And this, yeah, if we draw a land, we can slam Garruk, hopefully. They discarded Manamorphose and an island, so this maybe they have a bunch more lands in their hand. Okay. Well, they're not going to daze this, so... Now if we draw a land, Questing Beast will help clock them a lot faster, so... It looks like they're just trying to set up for a storm turn. Okay. Excellent. So we need to kill them as fast as possible. So we attack them for 7 here, so next turn... Can't quite kill them next turn. And put them close. Okay, so it looks like they're just going for whatever they're doing. Maybe it's just Time Warp. It's possible. Oh god, Treachery is pretty brutal. It doesn't have First Strike, so I can attack with the Acidic Slime, I guess. Okay, what do I want to do here? I mean, there's some chance that if I attack with this slime, they might just block it. Problem is, playing Garruk here now is really bad. So what I probably want to do is play this Hangerback Walk or pump up Hangerback Walker this turn and play Signet. Unless they block with this, in which case then playing Garruk and making a wolf is probably correct. If they block the Hangerback Walker, right, it still takes 1 damage, and then this will make a token, and I can sacrifice the token. I basically trade Garruk with this thing, which is also pretty bad, but I guess I could trade it with the bird, I guess. Not much better. Alright, let's see if they block this. I don't think they will. Since I can't block it, I may as well do this. Alright. I don't know how well this is going to go for them now. That might. Oh, that's. I don't know. I guess if they can storm off this turn, maybe they're okay. But they better have drawn a hand with this Time Twister that can actually like kill me, or otherwise I'm just going to beat them with Emrakul, which they will not be able to steal from me. So I hope that this, if they need to be able to win right now, or at least set up a turn where they can win next turn. So. Okay, it looks like they're doing something, so maybe they're going to play a bunch of tokens. Oh, that? I'm not really worried about that. Well, they're not casting that, so... So right now I have 4 or 5. I have 6 mana here. I don't really need the bird right now. So the question is, does my life total actually matter? It probably does. This thing does not have trample, right? So, and then they can't really attack me next turn anyway, so. Okay. Here, I guess I can just put Emrakul into play, and it's just going to kill them, so. At least that's the plan. I have 5 mana here, so I do have enough to play Elfish Mystic plus Show and Tell and pump up Hangerback Walker. Unless they have, like, Force of Will, I guess. Alright, I don't need to do this right away. They put a land into play. Excellent. Does having the Mystic in play matter, or this thing? I don't think so. I don't think the game is going longer than 1 more turn. But just in case it does. Alright. I need to not block this with Emrakul. So I'm effectively at 8 here. Their opponent is dead. There's like not really much they can do. They have 4 cards. They have to try to kill me right now or they lose. Sure. They have to try. So Manamorphose and just pray. Yep, iteration. Try to find like Time Walk, I guess, or something. Did they play a Time Walk before? Did we see that happen? I don't think so. It's still possible they could have something else. But they have to dig for an answer because this is going to kill them. Okay, so there's Baral on. The acidic slime is definitely blocking this thing. And I might actually block it with the Hangerback Walker as well. I don't imagine that they can give it haste or something, but. Or I mean, trample. I don't know. It's probably fine just blocking this. Okay. I mean, if they can find Brain Freeze, that might be enough. They can cast enough spells. This does not have Indestructible. Alright, so if I block this thing, I will die. So they could just be an attack to just see if I'll block with Emrakul. Which I am not going to do, because I want to kill them next turn. So it's a matter of is like Grape Shot or something like that enough to kill me? I don't have a choice. I don't have any way to not take the 4 damage from this and keep this alive. So if I had played Blightsteel, like they could just like chump block it with like this thing, and it wouldn't really help me that much. So this guarantees that they're gonna die. It's 15 flying damage that they can't really interact with. Okay. Okay, that does actually buy them a turn, so I can't stop that. They can tap Emrakul here, so I can't attack. However, the Hangerback Walker can now block the Questing Beast, so that is good to note. I don't really need to attack here. I probably just want to play Garruk and then just nuke this Baral. It'll deal 1 damage. This thing will die. Um... Okay. And then, yeah, I can block with Hangerback and then pump it up and just make it a 4/4, so... They have kept themselves alive for one more turn. With 2 cards in hand, so, like, what are the 2 cards? Because now, like, they don't have any, like, actual attacks here. Facing down the threat of Emrakul yet again. Unless they have Kiki Jiki, that would work. Mystic Confluence? Fucking hell, I actually just died to this. Fuck. That's gonna do it. Alright, they found their out. They managed to get the Confluence in time. Okay, well, we tried, I guess. That was pretty well played by them. They managed to find, like, an out with 2 cards left in their hand, so... It was a very specific string of cards, but, yeah, I guess it got the job done. We were so close to, like, living there, but... The Hangerback Walker, because it didn't die, means that I don't get to have tokens to block with, so I did not have a way to kill it unless I used my own Garruk on it, which seemed more dangerous, because they could have something like Burst Lightning, and that just kills me as well. I think killing Baral was better. Definitely mulliganing that. This is like the same hand. Okay, we actually can keep this. They mulled to 6. We can keep this and just keep and just put 2 forests in the bottom. Just try to show and tell Koma, I guess. I really thought that we had it, but they managed to find, like, they managed to find the exact out for it, so that was pretty baller in their part. So well played, opponent. Your back was up very tight against that wall, but they found the crack to slip through. So, sure. And I guess we're just gonna hope that they don't counter the show and tell. I mean, our backup plan is we have to get to 6 mana and hardcast Koma. Okay. Okay, now our backup plan is like... I don't know, this is actually really tough now because both of these are excellent ways to try to kill them. Blightsteel will kill them in 2 turns. It will force them to block with Baral next turn. The only problem is if they could end up stealing my stuff. So yeah, the question is, do I value Blightsteel or do I value Koma more in this case? It's so tough. This is the thing we're more likely to actually hardcast. Like, if we could theoretically draw, like, Mana Crypt next turn and actually cast this card. Oh, God. If we mess with this, this is so bad, though. It's also possible we could draw, like, Garruk next turn and kill off Baral and win that way. So there are definitely outs here. I think that we go with Koma. It's the safer bet. Because they might also have stuff like Deceiver Exarch to tap this down, so I don't want to take that chance. That could keep them alive even longer. Whereas Koma's going to make us a bunch of extra bodies here, so... Alright, what do we have? Manamorphose for 1. They're going to try to do something on the end step. Thirst for Discovery. Okay, that's fine. They're digging for an answer to this guy. All right. Well, if they find their card that takes control of Coma, we're just dead. But we're putting all of our hopes and dreams into this guy. Okay. They just carded Fable, so that's not a good sign. If they're shocking here, then that means we're probably in trouble. I guess we could also theoretically draw Eureka and put Blightsteel into play with that. They could have like Mystic Confluence to bounce this, but it looks like they have something better. Murktide. Murktide's not that bad. I can always just tap that down, so it's not super big deal. I'll use my Serpent to tap it down. Or the one I get in my upkeep, so that way I can attack with both of these. Okay, if that's the best they could find, then we might actually be in better shape than we thought. Yep. I'm willing to take a hit off of this Murktide. Just don't steal my Coma, please. No, this is not great. Time Warp? Okay, that's fine, I guess. That actually gives me another Serpent. I don't think me being at 14 matters that much here. Sure. Interesting. Okay, well, it's not... I don't think I'm letting that one attack me. But I guess there they realize that, like, if they can't steal Coma here, then I actually could just kill them, so... this is sort of dangerous to them. They have to do something because this is threatening victory. So they can cast something that costs 4. Okay, well, they're using top, so sort of... Like, if Murktide attacks, then I can just sacrifice this one to tap this down, and, like, they're definitely dead. I can just sacrifice this one to tap this down, and the upkeep one to tap this down, and theoretically that should be enough with them at 2 mana here. I don't, yeah, like, I can just sacrifice this to tap this, so. And now I also have Endurance I can just throw in front of this thing, too. I guess I could have played this, actually, because I have a legendary green creature. Alright, me attack, and then kill them. Yes, okay, they realize. There we go, just barely. All right. Um, I don't think we're changing anything for this last game. I think our deck is fine as it is. So this is it. We're gonna try to 3-0 this league. Oh God, this is like an hour and a half. All right, this went a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. It's okay. This is gonna be our 3-0 victory for this draft league. This is not the hand that's gonna do it though. They kept 7. I have to mulligan here. This is actually not that bad. How do I do this? I just have to draw a land. I can cast Eureka. And then we put like Grist plus Coma into play. It's a little dangerous, but I think we gotta do it. Okay. This is how it's gonna be. We want to draw like a land plus like, I don't know, Emrakul. And they might just have a bunch of spells in their hand that they won't be able to really take advantage of this with, so. Okay, that's a little bit better. Because now we can put Coma into play next turn. We can save this Eureka for later if need be. Okay, they're gonna look for what? Maybe force. They're gonna look for something better to put into play than whatever's in their hand here, possibly. So we'll know if they find something with top because they'll activate it to draw it. So it looks like maybe they did not see anything particularly interesting. And this lets me put permanents into play, so I can actually put like the planeswalkers in if I want to next turn. A 3/3 Murktide is not really that scary. If they know they're not blocking, attacking makes sense, so. Sadly, I can't actually put that into play. But it means if I ever draw the land, the Eureka is going to be devastating, so. I guess I'm attacking with this for 10. Okay. And they are just like dead next turn at the moment, so. So they do have to find something right now, or I actually have lethal. I'm assuming they found like Time Walk. Nope, Mox Emerald. Okay, what are we doing with this? Islands, 4 mana. Archmage, okay. Sure. You can attack. I dare you. I fucking dare you. Alright, interesting. So they can't actually counter anything right here, so I think I can just play Garruk, kill the Murktide, and then use this and tap that. Yeah. And then we just sacrifice this serpent, tap this, and attack for victory. There we go. That's a trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody in between and out between. Sure. Look there. That's Vintage Cube. We managed to get our 3-0 trophy for that. Look at how that was fun. You know what? We didn't do a league last, or yeah, we didn't have a video last week, so I think we are gonna do one more of these. So we're gonna do extra content here. We're gonna go into overtime. We'll make this a longer video to make up for the lack of one last time because that was really fun. Okay, there we go. That's what Vintage Cube is like. It's fucking crazy. I enjoy it so much. Okay, so right off the bat, there's some interesting choices here. Sylvan Library is good for a lot of decks here. And I think that's gonna be the pick because you can stuff it into just about anything and it'll be good, whether it's a fair deck or an unfair deck. So a lot of the other cards here are more dependent upon you playing a specific archetype, whereas it's a lot easier to splash this. I think that's the pick. Well, we have both Ancestral Recall and Mox Ruby, so I'm assuming whoever had this pack picked like a fucking Black Lotus or a Time Walk, so we're like definitely taking this Mox Ruby. Ragavan this card is also ridiculously powerful in this format, so like if I was picking a non-power card, Ragavan would definitely be very high in this list here, but Mox Ruby's a Mox Ruby, so we have to take it. All right, now we have to like start deciding what we're gonna do with this. Well, there's Green Sun Zenith. That was a friend of ours last time, and Selesnya Signet. The Signet is on color for Library, so there is that. We could also take a Triome. The Triome keeps us open to a lot of options. So I guess the question is, do we want to be green? This is green, blue, and red. Like, that actually keeps us more in our line with our colors here. And this would open us up to other stuff in the future. I don't know. I think maybe we could take this. If we're doing that, then we might want Green Sun Zenith, though, because that's also really good with the Ruby. Yeah, it's a hard choice, but actually I think this worked out really well for us, but it also is going to commit us to play a lot of green, so I don't know if we're going to do that yet, so I'm going to just take the Triome. If we see Green Sun again, we'll probably take it. But there's not a guarantee that we're going to play green as of yet. Bone Crusher's not terrible here. This is for a Reanimator. I don't think we're doing that this time. Nissa is a very hard green. Wall of Roots is ramp for something, so that's an option. Bone Crusher, if we're going to play like a fair kind of like Gruul Stompy list, then Bone Crusher would actually be pretty good for that. Or we could also end up like drafting something like Twin and then just have like Library as a splash. Like, this card feels like it's actually pretty good if we're playing, it does sort of the same thing that we were doing before. The Wall of Roots lets us ramp stuff up, but I think this is better for, like, our fair plan, so. If we're going to do something unfair, we want to be able to also do fair things to complement it. I think that's the real strategy for this. Like, now both of my 3-0 decks are decks that, like, had a pretty strong fair plan, but also had, like, some nonsense to it, too. See, like, this Imperial Recruiter definitely looks like it could be really good in this deck, potentially. Power 2 or less. So, like, depending upon what creature it is that we find with this thing, like, it could this could work very well with this. And then Lightning Bolt, I guess, would also be really good with this Bone Crusher if we want to go the red Stompy route. And we have the Mox Diamond, so it's not, like, a bad idea at all. No, it is hard to say. I think I'm going to go with Lightning Bolt, actually. Because it looks like we could just make, like, a really aggressive deck. Like, Incinerate could also then help us with this now. If we want, or yeah, like blue red is still an option. We have that land. I think we're probably taking Incinerate here. This is a 2/2 with haste for 2, and it can get bigger later in the game. Let's take more burn spells. Okay, see, like, this is now coming together a lot, because this Chandra is also going to be really powerful with this. We're getting lots of really good red cards, so I feel like it's our responsibility to play this. Chandra is amazing. Removal, damage, ramp, it does pretty much everything you could possibly want it to do here. This is an interesting card here. Avalanche Riders is also quite interesting. I think that's what we're going to take. It has haste. Oh, look, we got Hell Rider to go with this. I think that we're just doing like the Stompy deck now, and yeah, this Copperline Gorge goes with this pretty well too. We can have like a small green splash with this, so let's see. And then this still keeps us open to potentially something like Kiki Jiki and Zealous Conscripts if we come across them. Or if we draw Kiki, or if we find Kiki in here somewhere, like, there are a ton of creatures that you can play alongside it that work with it and that are pretty easy to splash. So, you can always think about that. Raging Ravine, and, well, we were going to go this route, but we ended up going red instead, so it means Raging Ravine is probably better, because it's fixing, but it's also, like, a creature that keeps our aggressive count really high, so. Yeah, it's our land that's attacking for 4. Alright. Nisa is probably fine here because this also makes this turns the lands into haste now, so yeah, this is a really good card to splash for. Super powerful. We do have a forest already, but I mean, so this ability probably won't do a whole lot, but the ability to turn my lands into like creatures every turn is also really just baller. So there's a good chance that we might play that card. Not guaranteed, but we might. Probably not playing that, but it's alright. I mean, it's the closest thing to playable in those 3 cards. Like, we're not a Thassa's Oracle deck, and we're not an Ashen Rider deck, so we're at least this is theoretically playable if we get like a bunch of fucking Moxes to come, so maybe. It's not out of the question. Like, if we get like Eureka's or Show and Tells again, like, this might be fine. I'm really sad that we're not going to have Ragavan, but now we still kind of want to have some creatures to play with this Hell Rider. Excavator is probably the easier one to play here. This lets me play lands off the top. Yeah, okay, well, we ran out of time with this, but I think, honestly, like, depending upon, if we have enough fixing, like, this is fine, because we can being able to cast creatures and play lands off the top is where that's great card advantage for a deck like this. And it's not hard for a deck like this to get it, so, actually, Acidic Slime is also a card that we can reasonably play with this if we have enough fixing. So it looks like we're very solidly red-green. We have lots of double green, so anything like fetch lands will help us a little bit because we can find like a mountain or forest with a fetch. We can play our Triome off of that, so that is very helpful. And we want a Taiga or Stomping Ground would also be a big help. But this means like stuff like Verdant Catacombs or Windswept Heath or like Arid Mesa will be very useful to us. We technically could even play like a blue fetch lands because this does count for that, but it would require us to like probably need at least like 2 more shock lands. Like we need the blue green one, yeah, Breeding Pool, or like or like a Steam Vents to go with it. So make it so like you have at least 3 targets. I doubt that we're gonna play like off color fetches though, but not impossible. Depends what the pack shows. But if we just get more Moxes, we're just taking them because we want to just ramp into this nonsense if possible. I mean, honestly, like we're depending upon how this goes, we might even take something like Pyretic Ritual, and maybe try to ramp into like some dragons or some bullshit like that. Mana Crypt is the kind of card that we are looking for here. Oh god, like there's so many good things in here. Like I think that we want the Mana Crypts, but I mean, this card is also very powerful. But if we could just like turn one a Chandra because we just go like Mox Mana Crypt land Chandra, like that would be just devastating. I think we're just gonna hope that that comes back. I mean, Inferno Titan's not terrible. Like Huntmaster is actually pretty good, and I think there's a really reasonable chance that we'll see Huntmaster again. But I think we want to take the Mana Crypt, so we do have a lot of stuff that we can actually like curve up to. So helpful for that. We can find uses for this mana. Yeah, let's just so we have an idea of what our curve looks like right now. So yeah, these are removal spells here. Okay. Eidolon's probably the way to go, though. Wooded Foothills is not a terrible choice. Show and Tell is like, not stupid either. But I think that we want Eidolon. We could make this work if we wanted to, and I don't think that's where we're at. Light up the stage is fine. I feel like the Eidolon is going to be the most relevant thing. Like, this card is also fine, but yeah, this is where I believe we have to be. It just makes it really hard for like a lot of the other decks to compete with it. It's like, okay, what do you if you don't have like a Path to Exile to waste in this thing, you're going to take like a bajillion damage from just either trying to play a bunch of Storm cards or trying to play like a bunch of like little creatures like Mother of Runes and Thalias and whatnot. So and it's also a card that I would not be sad to just like turn one Mountain Ruby Eidolon my opponent. So now Sneak Attack is really tempting, but I feel like we're in Glorybringer territory here. This is not unreasonable though. We definitely like could consider this. Glorybringer is gonna fit our deck probably a little bit better. Like, the sneak attack is it's. I think if it comes back around, then I'll probably take it. But I think for right now, like the Glorybringer is just too powerful. We need it. This will single-handedly win like a lot of the creature matches if you can just like attack for 4 and like kill one of their creatures, and the flying is incredibly strong on it too. Like if we get enough red cards, we might not even play any of the double green things. Like it is, yeah, there is a world in which we just say like fuck Nisa and fuck all these things, and we just play like mono red and then maybe Sylvan Library with it. Burst Lightning and Sulfuric Vortex are both very good. I don't think that there's a whole lot of life gain that we have to be worried about, but I am more inclined to take Burst Lightning because I want to have more removal. We have what, 4 burn spells now because of Bone Crusher Giant, so like it's not bad. And it's another thing where it curves up with Mana Crypt well. So like in the late game, when we have Mana Crypt dealing 3 damage to us, having the extra mana actually is relevant because of the kicker. Now all of a sudden our 2 mana spell is actually dealing 4 damage. So, all right. Stack is looking pretty good so far. even like fair mono red in this format is still like pretty powerful, and we have good acceleration for it. So okay, through the breach is pretty like this is enticing. Thrag Tusk is also very enticing if we want to splash green. I might be willing to take the through the breach just on the off because we do have this Woodfall Primus, and if we get like sneak attack, it is really well, or it goes well with that. The only thing is like usually like the aggro deck does not pair very well with this, but it's it's pretty close between that and Thragtusk. Like this might just be taking a shot in the dark, but I think I'm gonna take the Thragtusk. It's really close though. Like I very would seriously consider building like another hybrid combo deck if we know that we were gonna get something like that back. Beseiju is probably a safe pick here just because it's an emergency out to some nonsense card. I don't think that we are worried about stuff like Arborel. Pelucranos like is double green, and I probably want to keep my green splash to like single green only, but this is like kind of free in the mana base, and it is an emergency answer to some bullshit. So I am willing to take this card for this. Yeah, and if we're gonna play stuff like Eidolon, we might be hurting ourselves in like Mana Crypt, so Thragtusk can help offset that damage a little bit too. Sorry, yeah, there was not a whole lot of time to go through the entire thing. Yeah, but I feel like Thragtusk is slightly better. Okay, well we're definitely taking Mince and Boo. Like that's not even a question. Yeah, this and I think that solidly puts us in here so that we don't really need Nissa at this point. So we're probably not playing any double green cards here, but Mince and Boo just kind of does everything this deck wants to do. Yeah, I think it's got to be Char. I'm happy to have removal spells. The only thing that sucks is we know we're not going to have Ragavan because we already saw it go by in the first pack. But like, Ragavan would just make this deck even more fucking ridiculous. But I do kind of want some more like smaller creatures to pair with this Hell Rider. So any like 2 mana, two twos with haste at this point would probably be good to fill in this slot right here. This is what we're looking for in our deck. Stuff to play on like turns 1 and 2. Huntmaster is like I think that's yeah I think we want this in our deck. This kind of does what we need it to do. Like I said, we would be pretty happy to see this come back, and it did. So like this deck looks like it's pretty legit. Like I said, we just kind of need more cards in this hole right here. Mm. Probably this, though. Toski's not terrible either, because it is a form of card advantage. Alright, I'll take this, because it is single green. It can't be, like, it is exactly what we want against a lot of these decks. But we need more stuff to go wide with. I don't want anything at the top of the curve. I want more stuff in the bottom of the curve now. So, actually, like, I think Either that or like actually this Porcelain Legionnaire is not as ridiculous either. It's 2 mana for a 3/1 first strike. The Noble Hierarch is sort of okay, but I think that we actually want this. It does fit into like our 2 mana like a spell that like a creature that's going to be good in combat. 3/1 first strike. I'm willing to pay the 2 life for it. It's fine. Vortex is pretty good. I guess it goes over here. It might just be a sideboard card, but it is pretty strong, so it's inevitability. And it's sitting at 3 mana, so it's like sort of lowish on our curve. We have like a lot of 4 drops. We need more stuff at like 3, so this is sort of fine. Probably like none of these are that relevant. I don't really see us using this. But we definitely weren't using like the other 2 cards, so. Alright. Probably not using this either, though. It is like, we have a lot of really good double green stuff, but I think that we're more committed to the red. It's not impossible that like green could become the primary color and red could become the splash color. It just means if we did something like that, then Eidolon would probably like, and Sulfuric Vortex would not be played here. Well, I mean, even though it's off color, I still think we're taking a Mox. Monastery Swiftspear is literally everything we could have possibly hoped for. Thank you very much. I mean, we can look at the rest of these cards, but they don't matter. This is what we want here. We have 1 on-color Mox and an off-color Mox and a Mana Crypt. Like, there's gonna be a lot of games where we're dumping like turn 1 fucking 4 mana spells. It's gonna be great. This is the most power I've had the entire time I've done these drafts. It's like it just accumulated from like 6 drafts worth of doing them all into one deck. And I guess technically Eidolon fits in this part of the curve, so. Krark is actually probably okay for what we're doing. We have Taiga and we have Nisa. Fuck. Because both of those are awesome. Like, Krark is just okay. Because it gets some of our spells back sometimes, but the Taiga is better mana fixing. We do have a fair bit of it already. Nisa, she does find us more land to help us on her curve in that 3 mana. She only flips at 7, though. I think it's pretty close between Nisa and Taiga. But I think that if we want to be consistent here, we probably want the Taiga. Grim Lavamancer is fantastic, and I think that's what we're picking here. Again, that does exactly what we want here. The Ritual is not out of the question either. Like, that is reasonably a card we could play in this sort of deck. Goblin Guide? Yeah, okay. Cool. We're doing it, fam. This deck is now starting to look ridiculous. Yeah, we have our, like, honestly, this is pretty close to all the mana we need to splash green for this, so maybe 1 or 2 basic forests, but like that's it. Our mana fixing is going to be great for this. We've got basically everything that we need. Like the only card that I think we like really missed out on was Ragavan, but we did. I think we picked something else important for the deck over it at the time, so I don't remember what it was. But it's probably like it's fine that like we don't need it. We have plenty of other stuff now, so uh, Fire Blast. Are you fucking kidding me? Like okay, like shit, we have to take Fire Blast. There's no way that we don't take Fire Blast. Like that's just going to kill our opponents. They're never going to play around this card. They're just going to die to it so many times. This deck is amazing. It's just building itself. Like at this point, like these are the cards we're just not playing here, and everything else is like this is it. Like maybe we have to trim like one or two cards from here. Like maybe Toski gets like cut. Maybe even Sylvan Library at this point. Like we probably don't need it. Hazaret is also fantastic here. Figure of Destiny is fantastic. Okay. Figure gives us something to do on like all of our turns with our mana. Hazaret is something that will like. I feel like we have enough threats at 4 that we can win the game. I Figure is probably the way to go. Like on turn 2, like we can just make it a 2/2 and play like a Goblin Guide or something. This does let us discard a card from our hand to deal damage, but I still think Figures. Yeah, this is where we want to be at with this. Chain Lightning is an easy take here. We just have like so much burn. Like we're actually this. Remember when we were playing against what was like Legacy Death and Taxes? Well, now we're playing like Legacy Burn. Fully like powered Legacy Burn. Like there is a really real chance where we don't even need like Thragtusk or Toski. So we might just have like too much already. This is fantastic. I'm very happy with this deck. We should do great. I predict great things for us. We have like 7 removal spells. Maybe even 8 if you want to count Grim Lavamancer. Or 9 if you want to count like Mince and Boo. 10 if you count Chandra. Like, yeah, this is exactly where we wanted to be. Like, it's gonna help us a lot with Hellrider. Okay. I don't think that Dragon's Rage Channeler is that helpful to us here. It's non-creature spell. Like we do have some. Honestly, I'm considering this. I don't know that we're gonna play it, but it's sort of free. We might not have to play any basic forest. Maybe 1 at most. Maybe 0. Because we already have like probably enough green sources with just these. Right now we do have Toski in here, which would trigger this. It's another card in the late game that it mills cards for Lavamancer and it makes a bear token, so certainly like not stupid to play it. I guess Tireless Tracker is probably the card that fits our deck the best. So, I mean, I don't get. It's not really for sure that we're playing it, but you may as well take it. It's definitely a playable card. But I am going to suspect that this card's not going to end up in our deck. Okay. But now we have Nissa versus Krark. This is an interesting choice here. We do have a lot of 1-mana stuff. Nissa helps us curve up a little bit. I think actually we're at the point where like Krark might be just better because it's on theme. Like we have enough instants and sorceries now where this might be a little bit better. So with having this much burn, like this card is not as stupid as it like initially would have looked. So yeah, like okay, so we cast like 3 or 4 spells, we get like 1 or 2 of them back. That's pretty good. We probably want to take this card for the sideboard. I don't think I'm gonna main deck this, but there is a really strong chance that I will sideboard this card. So yeah, if we're up against a deck that's playing like a lot of Moxes or something, then we definitely want to have an answer to blow them all up. Um, yeah, I don't think this matters. I'm gonna say that we're probably not playing that. I, I can't imagine that we're playing like these cards at this point. Huntmaster is good enough where it's besides Mince and Boo, it's worth the splash. We still have to cut cards from here, so or actually no, because it's counting all this stuff. So this might be pretty close to it. I, I don't think that there's any reality in which, you know, Channel is a playable card for us. But we don't really have a lot of X stuff. But if we had Fireball, it would be if I had Fireball in my deck, I would definitely be main decking Channel for sure. That would just be hilarious. But yeah, our deck is basically just pure Octane. Yeah, it's also worth noting. Yeah, this thing can it can you can put the counters on something else. So if we want to put the counters in like I don't know Glory Bringer or something with evasion, like you know that's not bad. Get to a point where like we can pump up Figure of Destiny. We can or we can like pump Figure of Destiny, like attack with it, and then sacrifice it and just burn them out with this. But I mean, usually the way you go with this is you just play this, you get your hamster, you make it a 4/4, then you attack with it, and then you dome them for 4 and draw 4 cards. Like absolutely just ridiculous. Let's get rid of all the stuff that we don't expect that's gonna end up in our deck. Okay. So we have how if we add 8 lands here, yeah. It's 13 lands, 14, 15, 16, add one more. Now get the fuck out of here. We're not adding a basic plains to the deck. Fuck that. Um, and this is not a deck that is worth playing a basic forest. I don't think we need it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We already have 6 green sources in here. That should be enough. Maybe 1. All right. Oh wait, no, hold on. We got to get rid of some more of these cards. No, Legionnaire, you can come back. We actually do want you. I hate this. It messes up like the pile I had. So we need like so this is 14, 15, 16, 17. That's like 17 lands. I think we can add one basic forest here. I guess just in case of like Path to Exile we can add, but we still need one more card. So maybe we bring like Tireless Tracker or like Thragtusk back in or Toskies. One of them is probably okay. I'm not necessarily opposed to like yeah, like Tireless Tracker makes having the extra lands, you know, not as miserable because then we can convert them to cards. Like I think we have enough stuff where like you know ramping into it is into the top end of our deck quickly is quite fine. So Okay, can we move this stuff like this? Okay. I want to get an idea of what my curve looks like here. Char goes here. This is really a 2-drop. Fuck, I hate that so much. Okay. Guide, Lavamancer, Swift Spear, Figure. Okay. So, yeah. I guess actually Bone Crusher might fit in here because it's like we're gonna be playing it as a 2-mana spell first most of the time, so I don't have a lot of stuff to do on 3. So yeah, Tireless Tracker probably does fit in here. 40 is 15 land plus 3 mana rocks. I think this is pretty good. Yeah, I guess the only other question is like, do we keep the Sulfuric Vortex or do we want something else instead? But it looks pretty strong to me. So, yeah, Raging Ravine definitely can use some of this mana. Like this cycles, like this makes bears later. I think that we've got ourselves a banger. Okay. Yeah, I think this is what we're running here. Yeah. And then seeing that like the 3-mana spell is gonna fit a little bit better here than like Toski or Thragtusk. I think once we get to like 4 mana here, we're fine. And like if we have extra, then we can always throw the extra mana into like Figure of Destiny later, or like Raging Ravine is a thing, or maybe the Sanctum. So yeah, we have a couple things we can spend the mana on, or like Tireless Tracker can make some clues for us. So yeah, I feel like this is okay. We will find things to do with it, and if we need to, we can like sideboard cards. But I feel like this deck is gonna slay. Now you know what? It's been 2 hours. I need to take like a 1 minute break, so I will be right back here. Don't go away. Be right back. Okay, we're back. All right. All right. Everything's fine. All right, let's go. Come on, find me an opponent. I feel good about this deck. Excited. Bring it down. There we go. I feel like if you can learn how to like do drafting well, that will help you a lot just in general with deck building, and it does help make you a well-rounded player. So I really enjoy the vintage cube when it comes around. It's so much fun, and there's lots of super powerful fun decks you can build with it. Whew. Oh, we found an opponent. However, aggro does not go first today. All right, what do we got? It's not terrible. Swift Spear into Chain Lightning is fine. Or if they play a creature, then I'll just like bolt it. Suspending Ancestral Vision. Okay. Okay, we're definitely gonna Chain Lightning that boy. This is a good turn to play this. Actually, okay, no, they could have days, so I think I want to play the Mountain. We'll play the Sanctum next turn, because we don't really have a turn 3 play anyway. But let's just play around days just in case. Alright. Alright, they don't... Alright, now, like, I'll Burst Lightning them here, because we get 1 extra damage out of it anyway. Alright. No Baral. And they're at 14. That's fine. We can find, like, another burn spell or, like, a Goblin Guide this turn. That would be great. I don't really do anything here. That's fine. This is not going to... Or yeah, it does count for prowess, so we may as well play it. So... Alright, get in our beats. And then next turn we'll play Mince and Boo. Get our hamster dad. If we could find, like, or I guess if we find Eidolon, like, I might be inclined to even play that just so they take damage off this Ancestral. This looks like this is probably, like, a Brain Freeze deck if I had to take a guess. Oh my god, okay. This is really close. It has Trample and Haste, so if we play this, it gets to do 4 damage here. Alright. And it probably... The only other thing is if we play the Eidolon, like, they probably can't combo off this turn, so... I think I actually, for that reason, I might want to play Eidolon. Because it does seem like there's a possibility of that being a thing. They're going to remand it. Okay. I can't recast it, so... Well... If their plan was to storm, remand is, like, not a bad part to do that with, so... It does probably mean this card is devastating against them, so... Because it means, yeah, they'll have a hard time actually winning with it being a thing. So yeah, I guess they're gonna play as much as they can here. If they pass with 7 cards, I think we have to like We probably do have to play this again. There might be Time Twister here. Thirst, okay. They might just be looking for a counterspell for this thing. Sure. Maybe they're just going to try to brain freeze me here. They have 7 cards yet, so. Did you find a counterspell? Yes, they did find a counterspell. Okay. Well, we can't quite kill them this turn. We can only deal 6, so they have the ability to potentially do some devastating stuff. It's not that bad. Okay. So that's... This is really dangerous right now. Depends upon how they block with this. Alright, so one option I have is playing Mince and Boo plus potentially Stomp, right? Yeah. So you can play Crypt, Stomp, and Mince and Boo. Make... I could I don't want to put the counters in this. I can make the hamster a 4/4. Uh they will just block the hamster with this thing though. I can kill one of these mirror tokens, which means they can only deal 3 damage to Mince and Boo, so they won't be able to kill it, and I can just chump block the thing. And it does potentially open them up to then just getting destroyed by Glorybringer plus the hamster. I think I have to do that. This kind of loses if they have, like, days, though. I guess Force of Will would be really bad, too. Force of Negation, same. Okay. I would love to make a hamster. Yeah, making this bigger doesn't really do anything because I can't... Yeah, I could only cast one more spell. Wouldn't be enough quite to kill it. So if they want to kill the Mince and Boo, that means they have to... They have to attack it, and I can just chump block with, like, this Swift Spear to keep it alive, but they also have to tap all of this nonsense. And then I can just put more counters in this thing and play Glorybringer, and that should kill them, so... I think I have to stomp one of these tokens. We're just kind of hoping there's no daze. Because if there is, then they'll be able to deal the 4 damage to it just by attacking. Okay. Then I think this is fine. We don't really... I don't think we want to attack here, right? They'll just... Yeah, I think this is... I think it's worth just sitting back here for right now. Means these things, like, you're either gonna... Yeah, if they want to, like, pump this thing up, they can give it +3, but it can only deal 3 damage if they attack this, and I can just chump block to keep it alive. Then put 3 counters on this guy, play Glorybringer, and that would be enough to kill them. So that's my line here right now. Oh, fuck me. Okay. Well, that's gonna make things a lot more interesting. Okay, now like this all falls apart. I still have to play Glorybringer, but this is gonna get really awkward because now I don't have a line that kills them. Fuck. Okay, this was too much. All right, what do we need right now? We're just kind of fucked here. Yeah, like I can't beat this. Like them having Sower of Temptation plus a fucking Phantasmal Image is just way too much. That was not a line I had an option to beat. Yeah, they're going to attack Mince and Boo, and there's not really a whole lot I can do about it. I can play the Glorybringer and attack, kill the Sower of Temptation, get my hamster back, but this thing, yeah, Mince is gonna die. And yeah, this fucking Battle Sphere is just going to be the end of me. I can't imagine how I could possibly like win this game from here. So this thing is attacking me for 10, and this is attacking Mince. I mean, I'm gonna die to like this next turn anyway, right? So unless I target it with something, oh, fuck. Maybe if I draw Fire Blast, that's like the only thing I can imagine that would work here. Like, I probably have to chump block this. Like, I don't think I can afford to keep this thing alive. It's not going to do me any favors. But I think I'm dead anyway. Like, I don't think any of this matters. Oh, that's not helping me either. No, we are definitely dead here. 2 Mirror Battle Spheres was too much. Okay, that was brutal. I mean, we had plenty of stuff, but it just wasn't what we needed right there, so... Well, if we know they have Battle Sphere, then this card is probably not terrible. We can side it in for this, and... Probably Avalanche Riders. They're playing like mono blue, it looks like, or yeah, so we don't need that as much. Here we go. Aggro gets to go first, finally. Okay, we play Goblin Guide, attack. We were like close, but they just had everything they needed to mount a comeback there, so that's pretty good. Still gonna just play Swift Spear, and then we'll probably just play like Tireless Tracker next turn. Actually, we might want to wait with the Tireless Tracker until we can get the card off of it. I don't know, it depends. If they don't do anything here. Sapphire, okay. They could have a counterspell. Okay, that's enticing. I mean, that gives me more reason to wait till next turn with this. And I can save this Incinerate in case they play something like Sower of Temptation. They finally draw an island. This is not Merfolk. We're playing Vintage Cube. We 3-0'd our first cube, and now we're doing a bonus one, so... Yeah, we drafted a pretty sweet red aggro deck where we're splashing green, so this is our first match. Opponent they had a pretty ridiculous draw where they got double Mirror Battle Spheres just in time to and Sower of Temptation right as we were about to kill them, so we're in game 2 here. Vintage Cube is so much fun. I could not play this. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Okay, if they just brainstorm with this thing, I'm just going to incinerate it. Returning my Swift Spear to my hand. Alright, let's kill Jace. Oh, this actually might be better to play. Yeah, well, we already played the land. I want to play the Huntmaster this turn, so. Could have played Tracker plus this. I guess it's possible they could have Days, but I think that putting more bodies on the board is the way to go right now. Well, they're going to 6 here, so. Okay. Riftskate, so they can suspend it, or they might be able to bounce like Huntmaster or something. It's only a 2/2 though, so it's not that impressive. We do have lethal in place, so they have to do something. Okay, well, it does not look inspiring for them. They didn't cast any spells. This is just going to get so much worse now. Okay. Okay. I don't know why it didn't do it the first time. Why did I have to click that 3 times to do this? Sure. Okay, so they had Cryptic to stay alive for a turn, but it does not look terribly promising for them, so. I have a huge board and they're very dead. Yeah, okay. Game 3. And I think I'm going to keep this just because we know they have Battle Sphere and it's worth blowing it up. I guess Acidic Slime is also a consideration. This does blow up their Sapphire if they have it, so I don't know. Either one of them seem like they could be okay, but this can blow up multiple things and it makes, creatures, and it only costs 1 green, so I'm more inclined to keep that card. Can also blow up my own Mana Crypt if I need to, I guess. That Ravager of the Fells was fucking brutal, though. But, yeah. This seems like a fine hand. We can keep this. Swift Spear into Stomp, or actually, probably play Swift Spear, Stomp, Bone Crusher. Yeah, this seems okay. Ooh, Eidolon's pretty good to follow this up to. We have lots of one drops. We just keep getting the same one. That's all. Chart, of course. Okay, well, Eidolon hopefully is going to make their life a living hell. That's pretty good to come online. All right, opponent, good luck. The Eidolon is going to make things really difficult now. Yeah, go ahead. Frantic Search. That's exactly what we need to be doing here. Just casting more spells into Eidolon. There's a possibility I might just play Kruk the Thumbless. I think that it does return Stomp back to my hand if I win this, so... Oh, they discarded Sower and Phantasmal Image. It's gotta be bad, right? Fucking suspending Ancestral Vision, what? Are you kidding? No, how could you possibly be doing that? Okay. Alright, cool. Good for you. You think that taking more damage on off Eidolon is the way to go. Be my guest. Okay. I think that I'm supposed to just play Mountain Pass? No, it's got to be Krark, right? This just seems correct. Like they don't have any like sweepers, so the more creatures I put into play, the better my chances are of actually killing them. What are you gonna do? Counter it? Remand? Okay, cool. This Eidolon is just murdering them, and then I can just play like Chandra next turn. Or Huntmaster, that's also quite fine too. If they play Cryptic Command, this is still really bad for them, so... Like, they're gonna take the damage from this thing anyway. If you have Cryptic, you need to wait until my turn. Alright. Bouncing this now and drawing a card is not gonna be the way to go. Okay. Definitely just going to attack first. See if they have Cryptic. Because I want to deal the damage. Yeah, sure. Alright, well, I don't have to hurt myself for this now. And okay, sure, they can consider. Okay. That Ancestral Vision is so dangerous in the face of this Eidolon. Okay. Sure, you can cast Jace to bounce this thing. Okay, I think I just win here. Um... Yeah, we attack Jace here. I guess we just bolt them. Yeah. Alright, we got there. Look, excellent, fantastic. I guess attacking them and then bolting them was probably a little bit safer just in case they had, like, days or something. Because then they'd still have to deal 3 in the ground. So I guess that was technically a misplay. I was thinking about if somehow the game went on another turn, but like realistically, with 1 mana and like 2 cards, they were not going to just make the game. They couldn't answer both things, so I probably should have just um, bolted their face before damage. So, but whatever, we got there. It's fine. Look at this. This is beautiful. Excellent. It's fantastic. We just absolutely are loving this red deck. So much fun. All right. All right, come on. Let's get another game in here. I don't want to make this take all night. So where are we at here? We are at 2 hours 46 minutes. Okay, we can get 2 more matches in before we're done here. That's fine. Holy crap, 47 trophies for this already? People have been jamming this a lot, apparently. Much more than I have. Alright, aggro does not get to go first this time either. It's okay. They need all the help they can get, surely. Actually, we might need all the help we can get. We're not keeping this. This is fine. We'll keep this. I think with this hand, I probably need to put Glorybringer on the top, or I mean on the bottom. So we have a nice curve of like figure, maybe either pump it up or stomp, and then like turn 3 either pump it up or cast Bone Crusher, and then potentially Hell Rider. So okay. It's not like the best hand in the world, but it's definitely fine enough. It'd be actually pretty good if we could draw like Chain Lightning or something in turn 2. So that way we can upgrade figure and use the other mana. So that way it won't feel quite as bad in turn 3 to like tap out for this thing again. Okay, Celestial Colonnade pass. Okay, well, that's not bad either. Okay, so I think what we do here is we play figure and then next turn we pump it up and then play Lavamancer. All right, let's go. Sure, Preordain, that's fine. So we don't have any cards in the graveyard to use Lavamancer with yet, but okay, or we just have that. It's still probably correct to do this first. This will give us an idea if they have removal, which does not look like they do. I think I'm still playing Lavamancer. Alright. The creatures have more value when the board is clear, and the Chain Lightning can always be cast at any point in the future we want. Or if we need to clear the path, then that's also fine. Oh, that is not something I really wanted to see here. Rough. I can pump up the Figure of Destiny to get through this Sphinx, but it's not going to be pretty. Or the other option is I can stomp this thing and then Chain Lightning it. And then attack. It sucks that they have this Kitchen Finks in their main deck here, but I think this is the way we have to do this. Yeah, they get their life back here. But I need the board clear, so if I draw another land, Hell Rider just becomes that much better. And there is also a very strong chance that they have like Restoration Angel to play with this, so getting this off of the board right now is I think it's the way to go. So we do kind of have to be wary that Resto is a thing that is possible in our future. Opposition. Okay, so we're gonna be doing one of these games, huh? Well, I think this means we want to. Yeah, we play this. We have to just play Eidolon and attack, right? And then if they want to like tap all of our creatures, it's gonna cost them. So I want to make it so that them tapping us out of spells is not really an option. They have to tap us out of creatures. Yeah, like okay, they can play a creature to tap some of our stuff, but they don't have a lot of creatures right now, so they might have like Lingering Souls or some token card to play with this thing. The more creatures we have in play, the better off we are. Skyclave is not something I'm happy to see here, but I presume Skyclave is going after Figure of Destiny. Yep, okay. That makes sense. I guess a Bolt would be pretty good here. If I can kill Skyclave, and then I can just ping it. Okay. Oh, well, opponent, that was not the way to go. This is gonna hurt. Fucking hell. Hellrider just getting the job done. All right. So they are at 3. They are on life support right now. All right. Do they have Resto here? No, the Teferi. I don't think Teferi is helping them that much. Okay, they bounce that. Sure. We can just draw a bolt and just kill. Like, we have so many draws that just straight up murder them. This is so bad for them. Yeah, that's a good one to be tapping right now. Yep. Okay, I guess we just play Krark and then Bone Crusher Giant. Let's play Bone Crusher first. I have more creatures than you do things to tap them down. Council's Judgment. Okay. They vote for Hellrider. I will vote for Hellrider. No. All right. Well, what? How is that the choice here? How do you not get rid of Sky or copy Skyclave? Crazy. Absolutely insane. That can't possibly be right. All right. Well, they can opposition all 3 of my creatures here, but again, we have so many draws that just murder them right now. Okay, come on. Burn spell. That was not one of the draws. I need another green land so that I can start making bear tokens with this thing. God damn it. Uh, is there a value to playing this land right now? Maybe. All right. I guess we're just passing. I need to draw a burn spell before they find counter magic. Even finding like green land would have been better because then we could have at least made a bear token and activated this Lavamancer. Hero Bladehold. All right, well, we're so close, but like, I mean, Glorybringer would also get there, so we can just kill off this Resto with it. Or actually, no, they would just tap it down. So no, it still doesn't work. No, we need like a burn spell basically. That's where we're at. But we have plenty of burn spells that can kill them. We will draw one eventually for sure. Does anyone play Death and Taxes in Modern? That's interesting. Okay, they're tapping down a land here. This is super dangerous because I have haste creatures that could just actually like kill you. They should wait till my combat phase to like start tapping this shit down. Repeal, okay. I don't know if anybody actually plays it in Modern. Okay. They tap Bone Crusher. I don't know what they're doing. Alright, sure. I still have many burn spells. That's not a bad one. Yeah, because this still makes it so they like can't cast spells, so. Okay. Teferi has to die in order to get rid of this thing again, so there's that. Which they throw away Teferi for that, so I don't know. We're looking for like Fire Blast on top, basically. Char would do it. Burst Lightning does it, I think. I don't know. If they start tapping down my lands, they might not. But Fire Blast is still very lethal if we can get it. I really hope we don't lose from this position because we have like so many turns in a row where we could have just like straight up murdered them. Well, they have to leave me with at least one mountain here, right? Unless they have another creature to play. They have Flicker Wisp. Oh, fuck. All right. Now they can now I think we need actual Fire Blast because they should be able to tap down all of my lands plus this. Fuck, there were so many turns we could have just got there. We just couldn't find anything. Like finding one like more green land would have just like ended this because Lavamancer would just be able to just finish them off, but we didn't find it in time. All right. I only have this one card in my graveyard still. Come on, just give me Fire Blast one time. All right. Is there any way I can possibly live here? No, I cannot. Good game, opponent. You got like we missed so many turns in a row. It was just ridiculous. All right. Well, we definitely want this pest infestation for sure. I don't think we want this Avalanche Riders again because yeah, we want to just be able to murder off that stupid opposition card. So that's frustrating. We were like so close. This is not really where we need it to be for this game. One land, like we're never casting any of the rest of this. This is much better. We're gonna keep this. Um, I know that we sided that in, but I'm hoping that they just don't draw it again this time. You know what? Maybe we should have put the Mox Jet on the bottom because this isn't really doing a whole lot here. Yeah. All right. There's no way that they're blocking this, so... Sure. I'll trade this thing, I don't care. I think I might just play this Vortex now. Alright, how do we want to... I think maybe I just play Eidolon and pass. Playing... I can't play the... Or if I play the Mox... No, because this is when it's cast. It doesn't resolve until, like... I want to wait until later. I might take more damage from this, but I don't really need to play this right now. I think I just want to cast Eidolon here. Make them take a bunch of damage first. God damn it, they have Skyclave. Well, now I feel better about not having played the Sulfuric Vortex yet. They definitely have to eat this thing. Yeah, your Kitchen Finks is not going to help you this time. Unless they have Resto and they can just blink this thing, so... Alright, not this turn, it looks like. Yeah, I mean, this attack makes sense. Alright, come on. Well, this is going to hurt me. Mountain is great, though, because now I can play Mince and Boo. Or I could just char this Skyclave. That's also possible. I get a 2/2 out of the deal. I will let them attempt an attack first. Alright, I like this. That is ultimate danger. Mana Crypt plus Sulfuric Vortex is, that is asking for it. Alright. The upside is if I do this, I can play the Mince and Boo, kill this thing. Or, yeah, what happens here? I use Lavamancer to kill the Thraben Inspector. Make this a 4/4, kill off the Gideon and deal them 2 that put them to 9. And just have to get lucky on this Mana Crypt Oh, God. No guts, no glory. Oh, God. Oh, we could be taking 5 damage next turn. It was so bad. Okay. This is how it has to be. Hold on. Green, red, 2 colorless. Alright. That goes away. The hamster goes upstairs. Kill Gideon and attack their face. We just gotta hope this is good enough. Well, the hamster's getting bounced here, so that sucks. They have the Caracas for it. I think they need to bounce. They need to flicker the illusion token. Yep. This was not as well as I had hoped this turn would go for me. All right, I need to just dodge Mana Crypt hard. Because if I don't like, I might have to throw this Lavamancer with the Mince and Boot at this stupid Flicker Wisp. All right. Oh God, I lost the flip. That's so dangerous. Okay, so they should bounce this with Caracas now. Yeah, that's right. All right. That's all we could do here. We need some help. A Glory Bringer would actually be pretty awesome. I don't know. Colony is just going to kill me, right? They can just animate this thing and then I die to the vortex. Never mind. What are you doing? Just animate this and attack me. Why are you doing this? You're just giving me chances to, like, not lose. I don't understand. I should have been dead at this turn. Okay, I win the flip, I guess. I have a chance to top deck Salvation. That's really not it. Okay, this was not necessary. If I drew the stupid Fire Blast right here, you would just be dead, because then Sulfuric Vortex would kill you. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I lose. I am just dead here, so. Alright, well, it's frustrating. We came so ridiculously close to winning that match, like, but yeah, we just couldn't draw anything, like, at the end of those games. And that was also double frustrating because our opponent definitely punted, like, multiple times. They should not have given me the chance. But We had to do what we had to do. Like, them drawing the Caracas there was also ridiculously huge, too. Like, if they don't find the Caracas in that exact turn, like, the hamster is just going to kill them. That's all there is to it. But, nope. They found their answers on the correct turns, and, like, we missed drawing burn spells in both games. And so many options, like, could have just, like, ended them. Like, Burst Lightning would have been great. You know, just deal them 4 and yeah, just I don't know. It sucks when stuff like that happens, but it's whatever. So okay, well we can try to win our last one and make it up. We already have one trophy, so if we can just like go 2-1 here, that would be pretty awesome. But definitely like yeah, the draws just failed us there, and in the face of the punch, like it just feels even worse because we had extra chances for the deck to just like decide to be awake. And aggro is not on the play again, so that sucks. I don't think this hand's not actually all that good. They're mulliganing here, but this Mana Crypt doesn't really do anything here. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to keep it because I do have a bunch of burn spells with Krark. I might just like I think that I have to probably try. So if I draw like Mince and Boo, I can cast it in like turn 2. So I don't have to play this Crypt right away. And I might get to keep some of these burn spells with Krark, so who knows. That's also not terrible. It's a fine creature to play. Okay, they're not taking any damage here, so. Sure. Technically, Fire Blast is online, but we could only realistically cast it once anyway, so. This card we have to really, really, like, wait. Chain Lightning. Sure, that's fine. As much as I would love to, I cannot. I think the Legionnaire is a little bit better. That's why I was, like, waiting this. Okay, that's pretty good. They do have a counter spell up here, so I think for right now, I'm just going to play the Legionnaire. Because it looks like they might be holding up Counterspell. No, they are not. Okay, well, I'm not going to play the Mana Crypt yet. There's not really a good reason to do that at the moment. I don't want to play the Glorybringer until like I can get better value out of it. All right, they just have a Bolt. They're playing a... This is a 4-color... I don't know, I mean, this could just be like 3 colors. And they're just fixing for red-blue. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Okay, well, Glorybringer is going to be pretty good against that. All right. They're going to need to have, like, exactly Force of Will here. I mean, Incinerate is also okay against this thing, but I'm not really looking to do that at the moment. I want to stick my dragon. Goodbye, Jace. Get the fuck out of my game. Okay, well, we're just holding a ton of damage here, so... So that's 10. We have 14 in hand. Okay, well, Chandra is probably going to kill Glorybringer. So, yep, I'm going to have to kill Chandra. We lose the flip. Do this while they're tapped out. All right. All right, we win the flip this time. That's great. That's also really good. They have 2 cards left. I feel like they probably don't have a counter spell. They probably just have like a bunch of lands, so we just should go for this. Hold on a second. Undo that. We can tap the Mana Crypt. Oh, that's fantastic. Unless if they have a, oh, they already used their bolt. They could have Incinerate. They have Char. All right. Field of the Dead, they're getting close to it. They have 5 with this, and they need 7. They don't, maybe basic planes and like another non-basic. Okay, well, they did not draw a land, so okay, that's actually fine. All right, I'm getting close to the point where I should start burning their face. All right, win the flip. Okay, that was a pretty important one to win. So it's going to come down to the wire. What are we doing here, opponent? It's a lot of mana. All right, they're gonna deal 3, draw 3. I can't really do anything about that, so all right. Well, they need 1 more lands here. All right, I need to stop missing these. Like, all right, we win. Okay. That's pretty good, right? I think this just means we kill them. Force of Negation. Okay, well, they still could have cast it on their turn, so it kind of sucks, but whatever. They had to pitch Fractured Identity, though, which is like one of the best cards in their deck, so it's probably for the best that they did that. Why are they doing this now? Doesn't this make more sense to do on my turn, or what are you doing here? Are you just casting like Time Walk? I still don't think it makes sense. Oh God, we just die. All right, they have the Kiki combo. Fuck. They had literally like their last 4 cards were Force of Negation, Blue Spell, Pestermite, and then Kiki Jiki. Fuck, that's brutal. Especially like we went for the win, but because they were tapped out, I figured they didn't have counterspell mana up, so like a force was like the only thing they could have. Uh, I don't know. We could have waited, but alright, we're gonna keep this. I think we play the Porcelain Legionnaire here. So they're playing Kiki Twin. That was the deck that I played that fucking got me to the goal line. So, Raging Ravine is probably the one. They draw the mountain, so that sucks. We know that they have one mountain. The red man is really important for that deck, so they drafted the 3-0 list that I played. Soulfire Grandmaster. Absolutely fucking not. Get that shit out of here. And I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess we need to have that. We have Pestermite. We can attack with the Ravine next turn. Fractured Identity is not really going to help them here. They don't have any blue mana, so this Pestermite doesn't really help them at all. They might have removal here, though. Does not look like it. Okay, so they are in the red zone. That's pretty awesome. They can play the Pestermite here, but I can keep them from playing Kiki Jiki if I just play the Avalanche Riders and blow up one of their mountains. And then they are forced to block. Yeah, okay. I think that that's the way to go. Unless they found removal. No, they did not. Okay. So they go to 1. All right. Do you have anything for this Avalanche Riders? Yeah, you can't shock this turn. That's not really a thing. Yeah, okay, we got there. Okay, here we go. Game 3. This is the a barn burner. All right. Yeah, I don't think there's any changes here that like none of these cards really help that much against this deck. I think we know what their plan is now, so it should be fairly easy to just Play a little bit more patiently with the removal now. Um, this isn't the worst hand, but it's like, I don't know, it's still kind of slow. We're on the draw, we have Tireless Tracker. Like, I think I have to keep it, but I don't really want to. I don't want to play this Tireless Tracker until I have another mana for it. Because it's very likely going to get bolted. Okay. I feel a little bit better about this. No. I'll just deal one. That's fine. I can keep my removal for now. Alright. Drawing a land would be great, because then we can play Tireless Tracker and have Lightning Bolt up in case they try to go for, like, Pestermite or something. The last thing that I want to have happen is then play, like, Pestermite into Splinter Twin, so... Fuck, that thing has to die. Actually, that was a mistake. I should have used the Incinerate on it. I forgot I had the extra mana up here. Alright, well... Oops. Alright. They used a Chain Lightning, so... There's that. If we can untap with this thing, we'll be in really good shape. Okay. Well, that's much better than I had anticipated. If they use a Lightning Bolt, I think I will just crack another Clue token. They cycled it for a 1/1. That's pretty pathetic, to be honest. Alright, well, this Field of the Dead is starting to get dangerous now. Oh, they have Fractured Identity. They do. This is the point where I think I need to kill my own Tireless Tracker so they don't get one. They have 3 cards left. Well, it's not great, but we're not out of this yet. That's not bad to have this turn. Let's crack a Clue. Probably going to play the Raging Ravine. Now, that's actually really good, too. Sure. If something really bad happens, I still have Fire Blast as an emergency spell, but this is fine for the moment. Like, they could still burn this Figure of Destiny, but yeah, it's whatever. Jace, I'm not really happy to see him, but whatever. Jace is probably going to eat a Char. They're still potentially representing Lightning Bolt. I do have 6 mana to cast this Char plus pump this thing up. So if they have it, they should do it before I untap. I think if they pass to me, it's probably a sign that they don't. They suspend Cloudwing Riftskate. Okay. And I guess I'm okay with this. Oh, that was a really good draw. Glorybringer. I'm so happy to see you. Okay. So that's 5. I don't have enough to like I don't have enough to pump this thing up, but I think I want to just play Glorybringer and then attack the Shark Token. Yeah, like Glorybringer will kill off Jace, and then I can deal them 2 damage with this guy. It has to be that way. Right? I can make... The other option is I'd have to burn the Char to kill Jace. And then I could make this a 4/4 and I hold on to this. Or so what would happen? Yeah, I'd char the Shark Token and then pump this thing up. It is possible they have Force of Negation. But Jace really needs to die right now. I don't really want to burn Char on this. I think I'd rather hold on to it. So I think Glorybringer is the way to go. So they also can't Force of Negate Glorybringer, so that's one less card I have to worry about. It doesn't look like they have a whole lot going on, so this is probably fine. With the Riftskate is probably going to bounce this thing in 2 turns, so this might actually be a point where it's better to play or activate the Raging Ravine. Sure, there's Pestermite. That's sort of fine. I don't think that it really... If they trade Pestermite with either of these, I'm okay with that. That's not a big deal to me at all. I don't think they can play Kiki Jiki and hold up a force. Oh, fuck. Alright, well, I guess if they have exactly Force of Negation in their hand, we are dead. Please no Force of Negation. They tapped in a way it makes it look like they do. All right, they managed to get Kiki Jiki plus the Force, so or plus the Splinter Twin. So yeah, their deck was pretty awesome. They managed to pick up both pieces, so yeah, whatever. That like we put them in a position like both times where they like really had to just fucking have it, and they just did. So yeah, whatever. So we have yeah our a really awesome red deck. Like we had really good winning chances in like all of the games that we lost, but it frustratingly did not go our way. However, we did 3-0 with the first one, which was pretty nice. So Vintage Cube is a hoot. I will say drafting, if you can pick up like the twin combo, it is really really powerful because like I said, it's kind of like what we did in the first match where you have unfair plan plus fair plan that's like really powerful, and that's exactly what they were doing. They have a really good like tempo kind of aggro plan, and you threaten the combo on top of it. It gets really hard to compete with. So there we go. Oh yeah, we're gonna. I guess we're gonna open one treasure chest. That's how we're gonna end this stream. So all right, what do we got? That's terrible. There's no, I cannot like end the stream by opening this like piece of crap. This is awful. This is like the worst treasure chest I ever opened. Come on, I have to do better than that. Okay, well that's only like slightly better, but sure. There we go. We opened treasure chest that. So there we go. That's what we have for today. Honestly, the Vintage Cube is really fun. So if you haven't played it, it goes on to the 25th, and I absolutely recommend you do it. It is both fun and it'll also help you like really learn how to it'll make you think about your deck construction a lot more. If you like playing limited, I think it makes you more well-rounded, and I think it does help you with constructed. You think about cards in a slightly different way. So yeah, definitely my recommendation. You should like give it a try. It's super fun. So all right, that was our extra long stream for today. I don't really have anything else. That's pretty much it. So I will see you guys next week, and I don't know what we're doing yet. We'll see when we get there. Maybe Merfolk, maybe Burn, maybe something else entirely. Who knows? So if you like the Vintage Cube, maybe we could do more of this, like because it will still be up here for a few weeks yet. So yeah, all right. Thanks you for watching. If you're watching the replay, please give it a thumbs up. I really really appreciate that. And that's all I got. So take it easy, everybody.